As 70 to 80% of existing buildings will exist in 2050, the year in which the Scottish Government aims to achieve the 80% reduction of carbon emissions compared to the levels in 1990s, it is clear that sustainable refurbishment is necessary to reduce the energy demand in existing buildings for heating, hot water, lighting and other fixed services. The online conference on sustainable refurbishment has been prepared in collaboration with 7 Scottish universities. The 7 webcasts will highlight the barriers to sustainable refurbishment and show how these barriers can be overcome by using existing and developing new technologies and tools. I would like to invite you to attend this free online conference on sustainable refurbishment on Friday, 4th of June. Please see a brief overview of the 7 webcasts that have been filmed across Scotland, from Forres to East Ayrshire.
Dr. Paul Baker at Glasgow Caledonian University has collaborated with Historic Scotland in the research on potential interventions on heritage buildings that will reduce carbon emissions in a sensitive manner in order to preserve architectural values of buildings. Roger Curtis, Head of Research at Historic Scotland, explains the approach that Historic Scotland takes in addressing low-carbon restoration of listed buildings. Monitoring of a listed building in Ayrshire before and after the restoration and interventions aimed at reducing energy demand will provide valuable data on the results of the interventions. Glasgow Caledonian University was also involved in the research on the improvement of air tightness and insulation values of windows in listed buildings. Nicholas Heath of Changeworks talks about the range of interventions that were used for sustainable refurbishment of listed tenement buildings managed by Lister Housing Cooperative in Edinburgh. Professor Tariq Munir at Edinburgh Napier University has been involved in research and demonstration of solar energy for power generation on the campus of the university where he works. Professor Munir explains how this demonstration project obtained planning permission, how the photovoltaic panels were installed, what the project costs were, and what the monitoring of the power generation has shown. Edinburgh Napier University also undertakes research in solar hot water technology. Dr. Céline Garnier explains the technology of different solar hot water systems, how they can be made and installed, and comments on just how effective they can be, capable of producing high temperature water even in Scotland. Technologies for reducing carbon emissions for heating, hot water and power generation have been successfully installed in Findhorn Village, near Forres in the northeast of Scotland. Forres is also the location of AES, a company that manufactures solar hot water panels. We have visited AES to film how the panels are manufactured. Professor Susan Rofe at Heriot-Watt University collaborates with AES in testing and using their solar hot water panels. George Goudsmit, the director of AES, talks about the market for solar hot water panels and future prospects. AES solar hot water panels have been installed on the roof of the listed tenement buildings managed by Lister Housing Cooperative in Edinburgh. Edinburgh City Council has approved the installation of solar panels on these listed buildings. Kate Hopper from the Planning Department of the City Council explains how the application for installing the solar hot water panels was provided and the Council policies on sustainable refurbishment. Professor Colin Porteous at the Mackintosh School of Architecture was involved in sustainable refurbishment of social housing in the 1990s and the technologies that were available at the time. More recently, the team of the Mackintosh Environmental Research Unit has collaborated with Cube Housing Association in improving energy efficiency of high-rise and low-rise buildings in Glasgow that they manage. Rosalie Menon explains how the research undertaken has assisted in the decision-making on the most common effective interventions for reducing energy demand and improving energy efficiency within the budget constraints of the Cube Housing Association. Dr. David Moore of the Robert Gordon University talks about the barriers and challenges facing the owners of rural buildings when they wish to reduce carbon emissions of their properties. After examining the feasibility of a range of renewable technologies for a remote rural location, the building fabric, the availability of skilled contractors in the proximity of the property, and the budget available for the refurbishment, it becomes clear what technologies and interventions provide best value for reducing carbon emissions within the above constraints. The webcast highlights the barriers encountered and how they have been tackled by explaining the step-by-step decision-making that led to the elimination of some technologies and selection of the design solutions and renewable technologies that were most appropriate for this particular property. An overview of the positive and negative experiences during this particular refurbishment project is also provided. John Brennan of the University of Edinburgh assisted the clients who purchased 4 small listed rural cottages in need of refurbishment to improve their energy efficiency and select a sustainable heating system. The building owners explain the advantages of the biomass heating system that has been installed, including its automatic response to the external temperature variations, the local controls for the regulation of temperature required for different spaces according to their use, the ease of maintenance, and the 50% reduction of costs for heating compared to the cost of heating with oil. Planning considerations and other issues that were addressed for the sustainable refurbishment of this rural property are also explained. The Energy Systems Research Unit at the University of Strathclyde, Glasgow has been involved in developing software tools that assist engineers to optimise the design of buildings and their energy systems in order to reduce energy demand, improve energy efficiency, and reduce carbon emissions. Professor Joe Clark will explain the state-of-the-art integrated building performance simulation and consider options for evolving simulation-based CAD systems that allow the interactive evolution of a design hypothesis against performance feedback given in real time. The conference is free to attend. If you're already a member of the Kickstart Online project, you will receive an email a few days before the event with your username and password. If you're not already a member of Kickstart Online, please go to our website at www.kickstart.org and register under the Events section. The webcasts will be published on the 4th of June and remain available for 12 months following the event. As most of the speakers will be available online during the conference, you'll be able to ask questions related to the webcasts and receive answers on the day. Speakers' contact details will also be provided for you to contact them after the conference. During the 10-minute breaks between the webcasts, you can access the online exhibition of products and services for sustainable refurbishment provided by Scottish businesses. Access to the exhibition is also free following registration to attend the event. In the networking space, you'll have the opportunity to chat online with members of the steering group who represent the various academic institutions involved in the project. You can discuss the testing facilities available at each of the institutions, the content of their webcasts, and any other matters arising relating to sustainable refurbishment. As the exhibition booths will remain available for 12 months following the event, you can return to the exhibition and find more information on the products and services offered by Scottish businesses for sustainable refurbishment of buildings. We look forward to meeting you online during the conference and exhibition on Friday, the 4th of June 2010.